Hey, I'm in the room. How is everybody? You got your coffee? Well, actually, I've got tea today. So, tea in my mug, and this is one of my um, good luck mugs. I quite like this mug because it was a mug given to me at Christmas time. You know, when you have Secret Santa and everybody gives everybody something. I got this mug in my Secret Santa, so it's quite special to me now. And yeah, so it is on today's episode of Coffee and Chat. So this is the mug that's being presented. Mm. So I'm so excited about what I'm going to be talking about today on Coffee and Chat. Um, every episode is different, but I thought I'll put together a mini series because I felt like, we've just launched a new product and it would be really good for us to go a little bit of a deep dive into, some of the advantages and disadvantages of not that specific product, but products like it over standard products. So that, if you're new to toppers, you're new to hair loss, you're new to anything, you can listen in and you can get a little bit of information that will help you, hopefully, in your journey so that when you are choosing and figuring out, well, what's the best option for you, you've got sufficient information. So that's what all of this is about. And it is also about, being a safe place. So if there's anybody that, you just, I don't know, you just need some love, or you just need to, you just need to know that you're not alone, then this is a great place for you to be. And even if you don't talk, even if you just like, sit in the background and listen to what I or anybody else has got to say. So usually the way we work is I do a lot of talking, but I like to also ask questions. And if you've got any question, you can also just type it in the message. I will read it out, and then hopefully I'll be able to answer the question for you. So that's how it is. And yeah, usually the session is about half an hour, but I do set aside an hour just in case there's somebody that, really wants to go a little bit deeper into anything that I'm talking about. So yeah, let's go. It's 1 o'clock dead on the dot. So yeah, as you know, I like to come in early, do a little bit of work, and then dive right into it. So today's topic, we're talking about toppers, and specifically, I want to talk about the difference between, a standard topper and a custom topper, because so many people, they look on Pinterest, they look on Instagram and all those kind of things, and they see the word custom and they don't actually understand what does that mean, especially when you see custom, but then it's available for next day delivery. It's like, well, how's that custom? So I want to, first of all, define the two as I understand it and as we also advertise it, essentially, because we primarily focus on custom, although we are bringing in a specific range, which is going to be like next day delivery. But most of the time we focus on custom and bespoke. And, so I will break down what bespoke is as well, just so that you've got an understanding of all three. So when I talk about the standard toppers, I'm talking about toppers that you can get over the shelf. So generally speaking, a standard topper is a topper that you can get over the shelf. They're generally already styled and pre-cut and pre-created for you so that you can literally just plug and play. So whereas when we're looking at custom means that an element of it by default needs to be tweaked, and usually a custom is created for you there and then. So it's not something that you can just pick up and see the finished product. It is something that is created on a specification that you have provided. So for instance, custom can be the color is customized. So it can be a system or a topper that is on a template, but what you have is it's colored, and therefore it's called custom because the color has been customized to you. So there are various levels of customization. So, and that's something that's really important that you need to think about, because sometimes you might think that the whole thing is custom when actually it's not the whole thing, it's just various aspects of it. Now, just to touch on bespoke, now bespoke goes a little bit kind of like, it's a layer lower, that not lower in that sense, but like in terms of like closer to your requirement than custom. So custom is basically built on a predefined template, whether that's a template that has been predefined by yourself or a template predefined by the manufacturers. Whereas a bespoke is something that is more tailored towards you. So it is kind of like done that it fits like a glove. So it's something that has got everything that you need. And basically 9 out of 10 times, a bespoke solution is created from a template. Now, I am not separating when it comes to our products that we have got for retail. I'm not necessarily separating custom from bespoke, especially if you are ordering a template kit, because essentially if you're ordering a template kit, you've got the option to actually go a little bit deeper and create your own template, or you can just stick in on a standard template, but then you just change a couple of things. So for example, the hair can either be provided by yourself or provided by us, or or the sizes will be different, or the amount of hair that you actually put on the topper could be different, or the arrangement of the clips, and so on and so forth. So we customize that according to you, but you can also go that step deeper and get like something that fits like a glove. So those are the core distinguishing element of standard and custom, which can roll into bespoke. So when we look at the advantages of one over the other, now, the good thing, like I said about a standard one, is they're pretty much off the shelf. So it means that usually you can get them next delivery or essentially within a week, depending on, shipping and so on and so forth. So it means that you can fairly get them quickly. The other thing is usually they are pre-styled, so they're pre-cut. So it means you can plug and play. So there's a lot of clipping toppers, for instance, that already have the fringe included. So if you're looking for something that's got a fringe, you don't need to create the fringe yourself because it's also already done for you. And the way standard toppers work is it's based on, it's not like they don't have a template, but they've got kind of like what they say, a standard template where it's like most people fit into this category. So it's based on that, but it doesn't take into consideration nuances of who you are and how, where the areas of your loss is, and therefore how to make it as natural as possible. So they tend to be cheaper than say a custom or bespoke. And the other thing about them, which is really good, is that a lot of times you can also have them in synthetic. So, and I say that's really good because like synthetic hair is a lot cheaper than human hair. And also synthetic hair, when it's styled, will always go back to its original state. So with synthetic hair, you wash it and it goes back to its original state. Whereas when you've got real hair, you wash it, you've got to style it because it's acting like your own hair. So that's a difference in terms of like a standard. Now, if we're coming into more the custom, now custom, just by the fact that you're doing something to it, means it's going to take longer. Now, the more customized it is, the longer it's going to take. So for example, if it's just customization on color, it may not take as long as if it's customization on hair, in terms of like, the hair, the hair pattern, or the customization on the side, or the customization in relation to how the density is and all those things. So the more you pile up on the customization, the longer it's going to take. So you can actually have customized piece that's just created from scratch from the minute that you order it. And that's pretty much like how our systems are. So our systems, from the point that you order them, they're being created. So therefore their customization will take longer than something where it's just like, okay, the customization could just be the cut, for instance. So you can have a standard topper, which is, you purchase the topper, but you choose the style. And therefore the customization is created based on you choosing the style. So again, that's a different level of customization. The other thing with customization is the likelihood is that you're going to be using human hair. So because, if you're putting synthetic hair and customizing the synthetic hair, it's almost not worth the money, because the more customization that you add, the more expensive it's going to come. And like I said, with synthetic hair, it's very difficult for you to cut it, not in the same way as you can cut human hair. So again, there's limitations that can be done on synthetic hair, hence the reason as to why a lot of customs hair are use human hair for custom hair. Human hair for custom hair, yeah. I got that right. So the other thing with customization is the fact that you have to almost kind of take more care of it, not just because it's going to cost more, but because human hair requires you to take more care of it. So, not to say that the items off the shelf are not cannot be human hair; they can be, but pretty much 99.9% of the time, if you're purchasing a custom hair piece, that it is going to be human hair. It is also going to be a lot more expensive. So this is this is one of the things which, one may go, oh, is that a good thing that it's more expensive? Most people don't like to spend money on things, so people like it when it's cheaper, which is great. But the more customized the solution is, the more work goes into it, and therefore the more expensive it's going to be. Um, One thing that I will say in relation to the benefits for me personally from a customized perspective is, like, if you're the kind of person that you're more interested in how you feel than how you look, then a customized solution is probably going to be better for you than a standard solution. Especially when you're looking at, do I go real hair, human hair over synthetic hair? Because, and this is one of the things where I find that the videos kind of trick you upon, because you can have videos that look really good, like the picture looks really good, the person is putting on a clip-in piece and it looks really good, because the video doesn't actually show the quality of a system. It kind of like portrays how it looks and not necessarily how it feels. I've had so many scenarios where somebody has bought something on the internet and they've come to me and says, oh my gosh, I bought it, it looked great on the model, the way they clipped it in, it looks so natural, but when I put it on my own hair, it just didn't feel right. So that gives me an indication that that person is more concerned about how they feel than how they look. Now, ultimately, you want both. You want to feel good and you want to look good at the same time. But if you just look good but you don't feel good, your confidence is not going to be boosted. You're not going to feel like this is a great solution for me. Which is one thing where, for me, like, I've worn synthetic toppers and I've not been able to leave my house because, for whatever reason, no matter how it looked, it didn't feel right for me. So for me, like, if I'm ever wearing a topper, it has to be human. And there's just a difference in the way human hair responds to how synthetic hair responds. Yeah, human hair is, yeah, you've got to take more care of it. That's true, but it does respond differently to synthetic hair. So for me, I'm a kind of a person that, I want to be able to color my hair in between sessions. I want to be able to experiment with it, and I can't do that with synthetic hair. Now, with synthetic hair, you do have more options when it comes to actually the color, because, yeah, they're creating the color. The color is being created from the material that's being used to create the synthetic hair. So there's a lot more variations than you would with human hair. So with human hair, if you want specific colors, sometimes you've got to actually dye the hair itself. So yeah, so in that sense, it's, if you're not the kind of person that likes to mess about with with color, then you may want to go with something that's more standard. So yeah, so those are a few things that I felt was really key to kind of like give you the difference between the two, whether to go custom or whether to go standard. Now, I will also say, if you're just wanting a solution for a specific event, like if you're just wanting it for a particular day, you don't necessarily want to spend all that money. And I'm not saying, like, you know, some things, for example, a wedding, sometimes you're like, I don't really care the amount of money I spend on my wedding because I want to feel good on the day, that I don't just want to look good, I also want to feel good. So there's some like caveats where you may go, actually, it makes better sense for me to buy something that's like, more expensive or more custom, even though I know I'm not going to wear it as often. However, but if you're, for instance, just looking for a solution that you're going to, I don't know, go partying with on the night, then that's it. And you're thinking, well, I just want something funky. I want to look different. I want to have maybe some bangs for the evening, or I just want to have something a little bit extra long just for the night. Then I wouldn't invest my time or my money in a custom solution. I'd just say, go pick something from the shelf. There's lots of options. There's loads of variety out there, and I'm sure there's something that's going to suit you. So yeah, pick one of those. But if you're more like, a topper is your lifestyle, like you've got fine hair, you've got thinning hair, your confidence is down, and you want something that's going to be more natural for you, then I would say you probably want something that's a little bit more towards the custom side. And again, custom doesn't necessarily mean that the system itself is 100% bespoke. It could just be that, you've got a system where you take it to the hairdressers and they cut it and they customize it that way. It's colored differently, so it's customized that way. For example, if you've got a blonde system, and blondes especially, I always think that if you've got a blonde topper, you need to have some roots in it, because it looks more natural when you've got roots in it. Sometimes if the roots have been done from scratch, they look too perfect to look natural. So I always like to say, do the roots yourself or get a salon to do the roots, because it looks a lot more natural. And thing is, when we're wearing these things, we want something that's going to look natural. We don't want something, unless we are, I don't know, going for a fancy dress or something where we're obviously trying to stand out. We don't want something that's going to make us stand out, that's going to make people look at you in a way where you're going to feel self-conscious that they're looking at your hair because they're thinking, this doesn't look right, this doesn't look natural. The other thing about custom as well is you want to think about, well, what is your lifestyle? And what do you want your topper to be able to do for you? That's a biggie, because if you are thinking, I want a topper where I can put up in a bun and that sort of thing, and I want a lot of versatility. Sometimes the off the shelf don't offer you that, because they're not thinking about you personally. Nothing against you, but they're thinking about the mass market. They're thinking more about, what can I provide to the mass market? What's going to work for the mass market? Whereas you are looking for something that's going to work specifically for you. So, and your lifestyle and the kind of things that you do. So you want something that's going to be tailored towards you. And the more you get something tailored towards you, the more you're going to go down the line of a custom solution. So again, these are the things that are going to kind of like give you an idea, which way should I go? Should I go more like standard shop floor, or do I go more custom? And then when you're going more custom, then your question is, well, what type of custom am I looking for? What's the kind of customization that's important for me? So yeah, so those are the kind of things that you want to be thinking about. The other thing that I kind of want to share with you as well is, do you want, when you're looking at standards, for instance, some of the nuances in relation to how it's actually attached onto your head may not necessarily be there. So usually a standard topper has clips in. So probably if you've got a small one, it'll have a clip in the front, a clip at the back. If you've got a larger one, it'll have a clip on the perimeter. You may be in a scenario where actually you don't want to clip your hair in, you want to, I don't know, you want to glue it down at the front, for instance, because you don't have any hair in the front. So you're going to want to look for, if you're looking at a standard, you want to look for standard that is more in that direction. Whereas a custom, you're probably able to actually incorporate that in by default. So you're able to incorporate the things that you want from the get-go, from a custom perspective, that you can't do from a standard off-the-shelf option, because again, it's catering for the masses. Another option may be that you want something which you don't actually clip in front and you don't glue down, but has got some sort of a halo attached to it, which allows it to actually stay sturdy in the front without it being clipped in. Again, These are kind of features that you'll have from a customized solution. So yeah, so one of the other things that I really love about custom and something about what we do as a company is the ability to actually use your own hair to create a custom solution. Now, that is something that we've just recently introduced, and I think that it is a great way to go, especially for instance, if you know you're going through cancer and you know you're going to have to cut your hair off. A lot of times you shave your hair and sometimes you donate your hair, but wouldn't it be great if you could actually use your own hair? Because when your hair starts to grow back, you might want a solution that's going to help you in the interim because you don't like your hair when it's short. You liked it the way it was before, and you want something similar to how it was before. Shaving your hair off beforehand, knowing that you're going to be able to use it again, means that you're actually getting something close enough to what your hair was like before that you can wear whilst your hair is growing. So that's another option. The other thing is you may think, actually, you know what? Um, I've found, I've got a hair supplier which I really like and I love their hair and I want to be able to use their hair, but I actually want to be able to have a topper, um, not created by XYZ, but created by a company that that designs toppers like we do. So you could provide your own hair, and we can design with you a topper for you. So there's so many things that you can do with custom that you can't do with off the shelf. Now, again, I always go back to how does it make you feel? Like if you wore a off the shelf topper and it makes you feel great, then great. You don't need anything else. But if you wore an off the shelf topper and there's something about it that you don't quite like, there's something that's just not fitting right, there's something that's just not making you feel right, then you're probably a prime candidate for a custom solution. So yeah, try it out and see how you get on. The more you go towards creating your own template, the more bespoke it's going to be and the more designed for you that solution is going to be. So again, even in the line of custom, you've got various levels from customization just on color, customization with the hair, to all the way to true bespoke, where it's actually created to fit in the areas that you need it. So yeah, that's what I want to talk about today in my coffee and chat. And yeah, if you've got any questions, just fire them away at me whilst I sip my coffee. No, did I say it was coffee? It's tea. I got tea today. Well, I know it's coffee and chat, but I just wanted to have tea, so I got tea. Mm.